Okay, so Wizards of the Coast bought TSR and they made some of that stuff in the last video first, and then they came up with a third edition of the game. And third edition was so different that it's hard to explain. But all of the TSR versions of the game are pretty much alike. And so if you played one, you know how to play them all. But third edition was very, very different. So let's take a look at some of this. But another weird thing about third edition is the open gaming license, which if I had been in the company, I would have told them this is a stupid idea. People will, making an open source game, people will just steal your game. However, that opened the door that allowed other people to publish products for old versions of the games that they liked. So it created the old school revival. So I'm very thankful to Wizards for setting that precedent and allowing that to happen. But the artwork is quite a bit different. Here's some before and after pictures, and I can't tell what class that elf is supposed to be. To me, elves are supposed to be fighter magic users, but now any race can be any class with this new edition of the game, and I can't tell what class that's supposed to be. And this dwarf here, the original version looks like he's, I don't know, maybe some sort of Gamma World character. And yeah, I guess that's some sort of fighter. Could be paladin. Can't tell. And there's monk before and after. That could be a monk, or it could be a cleric, or hard to tell. But yeah, so I don't like any of the art starting with this edition. Here's a thing on the orcs as they progress through time, and to me, orcs will always be pig-like. Here's a pretty interesting picture, but it's not as good as some of the early second edition stuff. It's already starting to get muddy. Okay, so here's the first edition picture of all the races, and to me the half-orc picture is particularly bad. And then here's female and male ones, and for me I have trouble telling the gnomes of the halflings apart in this picture. And so here's a pretty good picture. And here's the dragons. Yeah, second edition made the dragons a lot more powerful than they were in first edition. But the power of the players had started to increase even before first edition. But it was kind of exponentially increasing, so it wasn't as noticeable in first edition. It started to become noticeable in second edition. You had, with these kits, you had these specialized characters who were really good at doing one thing, but not so good at doing a variety of things. They were not generalists like they had been in first edition. And third edition, the amount of power the players had increased. But I managed to completely skip this edition, which is lucky for me because just a couple of years later, they came out with 3.5. And if I'd invested heavily in third edition, I would have been outraged by this.